Hi, I'm Dave Early. We're talking about 21 keys to answered prayer. And today we're talking about a great way to begin your prayers each day. Very powerful tools of prayer. We're talking about the power of praise and thanksgiving. And I want to encourage you, never underestimate the power of praise and thanksgiving. Sometimes you're warring for something, you're pleading for something, you're interceding for something, and nothing's happening, you're not getting a breakthrough. Don't underestimate the power of praise and thanksgiving. We have a great story in 2 Chronicles chapter 20 about King Jehoshaphat. Three armies line up, unite to attack Israel. What's he going to do? Well, he's a smart guy. He's got this big problem. Three armies are ready to attack him. He's not really ready to be attacked. What's he going to do? He calls his nation to fasting. Great idea. They unite in prayer, asking God to help them. Great idea. And they claim promises by faith. We got to believe God is going to work in this way that He's promised. All good. But it doesn't change anything. Nothing's happened. The enemy is still there. The enemy's getting ready to march towards them the next day. They even go through a season of worship. They worship God. Awesome. You should be doing all these things if you want to see a life of answered prayer. But this is when the breakthrough came. This is when the miracle came. This is when the victory came. Listen to verse 21. At the end of verse 21, he says, Then he consulted with the people and appointed some to sing to the Lord and some to praise in the splendor of His holiness. And they went out in front of the armed forces singing, Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His love endures forever. That was like a major song. Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. So instead of sending His soldiers out first, He sends His worship team out singing, Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. So they're battling with thanksgiving. And then it says this in verse 22, The moment they began their shouts and praises, the Lord set an ambush against the enemies. And they were defeated. The moment they began to praise God, God set an ambush. So they were thanking God for what He had done. Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. They're praising God for who He is, God who hears and answers prayer, the God who's a great warrior, the God who's almighty, the God who's good, the God who can defeat enemies, and God gave them a great victory. And you read on through this chapter, you find that not only were the enemies entirely defeated, but Israel lost no troops. Nobody died in this battle. They had all fought against each other. They all killed themselves. Fascinating thing, no one was lost. They got all the spoils of those three armies, all their equipment, all their food, all their everything. They got all that. In fact, it took longer to gather that in than it did to sing and see God bring the victory. Beyond that, they had a great testimony for their children, for themselves. It built up their faith. It gave them spiritual strength. And beyond that, none of the other nations wanted to fight against them now because God was fighting on their behalf. You want to see a breakthrough? You want to see God do big things? Never underestimate the power of praise and thanksgiving. We're in 21 days of praying, building a prayer life, 21 keys to answered prayer. We're in a global event. People are joining us from all over the world. You can get in on it, www.21daysprayer.com, 21daysprayer.org, 21daysprayer.org. I'm Dave Early. Join us tomorrow. We'll be talking about more keys to answered prayer.